All right, all right, all right. Amazing people of the world, get ready for an amazing experience with me and the extraordinary Michelle Alva, who I'm inviting right now. So get ready, get ready, get ready. It's going to be so free. She's going to drop knowledge, it's going to change your whole freaking life. It's going to be so cool. And there she is in all of her effervescent glory. How you doing, Michelle? How you doing?
Hey Jackson, I'm so happy to be here.
I love
Hello
it.
everyone.
Can I get a
Hi
la 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 la
Daniel.
la la la? There it is. There it is. That's how she calls in her angels, which is freaking awesome. So, as you may have seen, the title of this conversation is about processing shame and reclaiming our healthy sexual power, something that Michelle is truly a world-class expert in, with amazing innate intelligence and intuition and empathy for this, and also a really extraordinary journey of educating the absolute heaven out of herself on the subject and going around the world and studying with all kinds of amazing people and leading couples workshops and individual tantra experiences for quite some time now. So, dear friend of mine who's done a massive amount in helping to release the toxic shame that I have definitely possessed for so long in so many ways, helping to release that and reclaim myself as a healthy sexual man and male, and it's awesome. And super excited to have this conversation with you and anyone watching this. If you're a guy, especially, well, really only guys, unfortunately. Come to the Next Men's Circle. Drop me a DM if you're in Miami and you want to join a bunch of epic bros and this amazing woman here for an incredible session on restoring our sexual power and releasing shame. So with that introduction, Michelle, thank you so much. Why are you so passionate about processing shame and restoring sexual power and wellness to people?
Well, I know what it feels like to walk around all day wearing a gray cloud over your head. There's like this covering over us, and I think about that Charlie Brown character
Yeah.
with the dirt that goes everywhere they go.
Pigpen.
Pigpen.
Yeah.
That was me. That was me. You know, I was raised Catholic and my family's from Peru. And I'm not shooting down the Catholic religion, but the way that I'm taking ownership that I thought masturbation was a sin. I thought sex you're supposed to have when you're married. And if you did not, you weren't a virgin, that you're damaged goods, you're a slut, you're a whore. And so I put on myself when I was 14 years old. I didn't really know what sex was really, but I had an idea because no one really talked to me about that. I wasn't educated. And so a teenager basically did whatever they wanted when I was 14. And I just assumed that God doesn't love me. And I kind of hexed myself. You know, I put this curse on myself. I did this to myself. And I thought I was damaged goods. And so I know what it's like to live hiding. I didn't want my mother to know. I didn't want anybody to know. It was my secret. But I felt like it was eating inside me. And I developed a lot of dissociating myself.
Yeah.
You know, I checked out.
Yeah.
And I thought God didn't love me. I think that was the biggest weight, was not what happened to me, but the meaning that I gave it. And then my relationship with God, because that was everything for me. And so I wasn't sure where I stood in God's life. And then eventually I matured, and like 3 years later, I just woke up one day and I was like, God does love me. You know, it has to. And then I actually freed myself. I just kind of decided that I'm going to believe a different way. And then different things happened to me that I was led to find so much love today. You know, today, definitely, Jackson. And you know me for, I think, over a year at this point, how I even feel I'm different today. And it's that relentless desire to serve others that I think has helped me the most to release my shame, to embrace my shame.
Yeah. Yeah. Loving other people and redefining my concept of what God is. And that's such a loaded term, but I hear you. And I do believe in a creative spirit. I don't know exactly what God is. I don't think any of us really know. A lot of us think that we know and like to pretend that we have this internal certainty, and I know what God is because of this and that, and therefore I can judge you, and I can feel better, and I can feel superior, and I can have all these, arrogant emotions and spiritual narcissism, frankly, about the whole thing, and cause a lot of major issues from that, said Diego. And redefining my concept of God and what God's judgment or lack thereof is on my life and in the world has been one of the biggest changes for me, for sure, and still comes up really strongly. I mean, those programs are still definitely alive, and it's just a matter of going, oh, wait, that's a program. That's not really me. So interested in how you kind of like shifted that identity and that concept of what God is. How have you gone about that process?
Oh, wow. So I never touched myself. I never touched myself for pleasuring myself till I was 37 years old. And so I lived very disconnected from my sexual energy, from my feminine, sexual, sensual body. Even though I was thin, and pretty, like not too bad on the eyes, right?
Gorgeous.
I didn't really enjoy my sexuality. I didn't really ever touch myself the way I do today. And so I was missing that juicy aliveness, this radiance, that people, they say a lot. I love your energy, Michelle. I love your energy. And so I look at teenage pictures. I wish I had one right now. I look like a zombie. There was no glow in myself. And so I know what it's like to feel shut down and closed off. And I just have this inner drive inside of me that I wanna know what it's like to heal. I want to heal. I want a better life for myself. I have always had this relentless pursuit. And that's why I studied and spent thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past 27 years on this journey of discovering myself with the greatest teachers on the planet. I can honestly say that I've invested in self-development so much, but this inner, and what it led me to is that I was the one that was always the one I was waiting for, and so from making lots of mistakes, I feel that I have learned how to really love myself, the parts of me that I was hiding from. I learned about vulnerability. I love Brene Brown, Joe Dispenza, mindset change, becoming a hypnosis teacher, and NLP, and the use of words, and learning about pelvic floor physical therapy and shamanism, and where my G-spot is, and masturbation, and then saying, what's wrong with touching my vagina for myself? Like, how could this be a sin? And crying as it's happening at age 37. True story that I was like, okay, I'm divorced. My daughter's not home. I can touch myself, and I want to know what it's like to give myself an orgasm. And so I had this moment in my life where I just thought, how could this be bad? How could this be nasty? How could this be a sin? And I seriously would love to go to every priest. I really wish I could do this. I wish I could have a meeting with the Pope in Rome and ask him, what is wrong with masturbation? Watch this, and show him how I whole body orgasm. I know that might sound insane, but like, this is not bad, folks. I'm telling you, orgasm heals the heart, makes you look younger, raises your immune system. When we look at the science, that's another thing, is I have a massive scientific understanding. It just doesn't make sense scientifically why we're not teaching how to whole body orgasm for people with heart problems, people that have low immune system, people healing through cancer. I mean, if I was a doctor, I would prescribe that for everyone.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of agendas at work and a lot of people that seem like they're working for our best interests that are absolutely not in the medical world, and a lot of really strange and psychopathic people out there in the world, unfortunately. So the people that appear to be on our side are oftentimes not, and that's I think history bears that out really, really, really clearly. But without going down that tangent, focusing on how people can get the most out of this conversation and shifting their own shame and finding their most incredible, powerful self, and having that amazing, effervescent, positive quality that you embody so much. What's up, Francesca? And that you're so amazing at expressing that, and so cool. And so when you see the clients and the people you work with coming in with that denseness and that dark, shameful presence, and then they emerge out the other side of it feeling lighter, feeling less judgmental, feeling freer, feeling just more expressive
Like
of
this.
themselves. What is
They're
that? Oh.
juicy. It moves, you know? It's like the vagina for a lot of women. It's this muscle and it's like this. And she's angry. And like, you know, if these lips could talk, if these walls could talk, a lot of women are like this, like that's what their vagina is like. Super rocks hard, solid, dense. I mean, I work with this, you know, I have a background in
Yeah.
pelvic floor physical therapy. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like I can guess what a woman's vagina feels like just by their smile. Like when you meet a woman whose face is really tight and dense and just it's hard for them to smile, that's not a happy vagina. And I mean, I really do know this really well because I've worked with both lips. So I feel like I know all this information that is hiding, you know? But shame is rampant in our world. I mean, we literally buy products because we are ashamed of how we look. Corsets for women, like the faja. You know how they sell the things for the waist to make a woman's waist look smaller? So like when a man goes on a date, I think there's a movie where they're getting naked, like they want to have sex, and she can't figure out how to take off her Spanx, you know? And so I feel bad for men because half the time they're like, whoa, you know, when we're naked and we're in the room, she looks way different than when I saw her at the bar or something and she was totally corseted up. So there's so much shame, I feel, that it's rampant, even things for men to make them bigger. So I feel as though there's rampant, unspoken, a lot of shame in people. So they don't really feel free. And you can't really tap into your heart when you're rejecting yourself 24/7. So people don't really feel that passion, that fire, that energy that sometimes is a lot for people over here, you know, because we're so shut down, you know, we're so closed off
Yeah.
to our own love, our own acceptance of ourselves.
Yeah, I think shame is the ultimate like blocking emotion, like the ultimate like rejection of self. Like there's something wrong with me, and I'm not right the way I am, and therefore I am blank, 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 blank. Terrible list of things.
If we
So
don't accept ourselves, our cortisol levels are always going to be on. We're going to be,
yeah,
we don't feel safe, we don't feel supported. And so that's where anybody that has heard of Brene Brown, I highly recommend watching her Netflix. She has a 1 hour on Netflix and a whole talk on TEDx of vulnerability is the solution. So
right,
talking shamelessly, freely. You know, we've had some awesome private conversations, Jackson, and I'm so grateful for you because you've helped me come out even more trusting a man. For me, like you've been very healing for me, where you really can talk about everything, at least with me. And I love that we can really be open together. And so I see the healing power of vulnerability in our
yeah,
friendship. And I
yeah,
wish
for
more
sure.
people would give that a chance because I think there's a lot of judgment in sexual, like correlating it back to the sexual shame. I feel that there's a lot of shame that women, like the couples that I work with, the heterosexual couples that I've worked with, women, if a man says like, I want to lick your anus, baby, you know, like they're in the heat of it. And she's like, what? You know, or lick my toe, you know, and she'll be like, that's disgusting. Or come on my face, you know, it might just come out that somebody might say something really raw. And then the woman is like, wait a minute, you know, how could you say that to me? I'm your wife, you know? And so I think this is really common. I hear this struggle with men, and I look forward to being in the men's circle on June 1st at the Plant the Future because I've been there. I've heard those stories and it's real. And so for the women, I feel like I'm an advocate for men, for women to be grateful if your man wants you to come all over your face, you know, whatever he says. Love that he's so vulnerable, that he's so raw and real with you. Appreciate that he's freeing his words and do your best to just witness it and then decide what you want to do that comes from your heart and not judge him because then you're just chopping off his balls, you know, it's terrible. Somebody
Yeah.
wrote some stuff here.
Yeah, yeah, really cool stuff about semen retention. You know, I've looked at both sides of that, experienced both sides of that, and it's satisfying, and both are really, really amazing. But there's also, I feel like I heard a cool perspective about how we get stuck in like a dopamine searching circuit when we don't, complete ourselves. And so there's some issue with that too. And I know like the mineral depletion and energetically whatever is kind of complicated, but super interesting. So, but as far as like the individual shame goes, and like asking for what we want, coming from so for me, I would call myself a recovering nice guy. And one of the best books I've read recently is No More Mr. Nice Guy, extraordinary book for men, and talks about the epidemic of us not being able or courageous enough to ask for what we really freaking want and really being freaking honest. And when we have that level of blocking our authenticness in our sexual relationship, in our romantic relationships, it's going to manifest all over the freaking place. Our business is going to suffer. We're not going to charge what we should charge. We're not going to, ask for bigger deals. We're not going to be ambitious. We're not going to pursue. We're not going to risk failure. And business is the art of risking failure. Like if you're in business, you're going to fail more than you succeed, and that's just a fact. And you've got to be really comfortable with that, and learn, of course, and grow. So when you see guys shift from, and women too, and nice girl syndrome is certainly a thing too. And so when you see people shift from, the shameful mindset to, a more empowered, honest, authentic mindset, what is it that does it for them? Like what happens inside of people that allows them to become less shameful and more expressive, more honest?
Well, it all starts with having a desire to shift. I mean, I'm a mindset coach,
Gotta
mindset
be hungry.
coach. You have to, and what I tend to attract clients that they're so sick and tired of being sick and tired. They've done a lot of different things and they're just really ready. And I think that's what is keeping people from being free of shame, is just how hungry are you for it? And are you open to being in the unknown? And are you open to something new? That's really what it is, because we're constantly wanting to hang on to what we know. And so on the other side of that is something completely different. And so I feel that the people that are just deciding to have something better, different, something more aligned, will find it, and wanting to get out of that shame cycle. But expressing your authentic desires, that's what we call it in Tantra. What are your authentic desires? A lot of us don't ask when it comes to sex or when it comes to business, what do I authentically desire? I think a lot of us are operating on programs, and there's a lot of coaches that are fulfilling that program. There's coaches for everything, when in reality, the greatest coach or guide is the person that takes you inside. And so when we work with the sexual energy and do these Tantra sessions, these bodywork sessions, it's all about your deepest parts of yourself. And so the transmutation of shame happens when a person is open to holding space for all their feelings. And there's a lot of us that are not open to feeling. So it really does start with breathing consciously. That's why I teach the E3 breath, and expanding and elongating your breath, your rib cage, your abdomen, your pelvic floor, and really taking up your space. And then you're going to feel that icky shame, but then you're going to stay. And so you stay emotionally available. You decide to stay. You have this, I am committed. I'm deciding to be committed to working through my shit. And that's what I say, is we transform our shit into fertilizer. But you have to want it. And then you're going to be blown away with the results. So like when somebody really wants it and they're in it, then they're like, whoa, like, oh my God, my life, like something magical happens the next day. You blow yourself away because you're like, wow, I really am my solution. I really am the only one that was ever in my way. It wasn't my former partner or something. Like when you really go in, and this is where the sexual connection to yourself and getting to know, for a man, I love teaching men how to find their prostate, how to find the pleasure of your anal area. For a woman, how to know her G-spot and go way up inside her body in her cervical area. There's a metaphor. The more you know the deepest pleasure spots of yourself, you get to also feel the deepest joys of your life. It really is amazing how sex is how we everything. And your relationship, like I know my vagina, I know my cervix, I know my walls, and they're happy walls. It's a happy architecture. And so I know myself so richly. My face lights up. And I'm not depending on a man to make me feel that way. I'm not waiting on him to tell me or to do me. And that's what I think is really not balanced in a lot of people, how people are waiting for someone else or something else. So when we learn how to harness our sexual energy, we are the amusement park, you know, we are it. And it's a different way of knowing yourself that I don't feel is an ego way, because my body's made by Creator. This is a divine and sacred vessel, and my heart is on. And so in this work, when I talk about sexuality, I always begin with the heart first. We always get our heart on first. So everything that I say sexually, I am just by default know that it comes from the heart. And this is really important. So when I know my heart, I know my sex, I know my soul. And I really feel that God, Creator, Source, was so freaking smart to make us orgasmic beings and to make that part of the body where we create life from. So, yeah.
What happens when we connect to our hearts?
You're energizing. The heart is the most electromagnetically charged organ in the body. And so if I want to feel myself more, if I want to be more embodied, and I put my hand here on my chest and I breathe and I expand and I make this my practice. This could be our spiritual practice. You know, being spiritual is being present. The more spiritual I am means that my ego is less dominating me and I'm more relating to the present moment. And so the heart expanding causes more blood flow to your whole body and to your genitals. And so for a man, for example, it's so beautiful that his erection and the hardness of a man's erection has to do with his ability to circulate the blood in his body from his heart to his wand of light. And if a man doesn't feel safe because his wife is judging him, or she has expectations of what he's supposed to be, or maybe he's not making enough money or something, he's not going to be able to be as rock hard because he doesn't feel safe. So I think it's so beautiful how the human body is such a metaphor for our spiritual body, for our emotional body. And so that's why I say how we sex is how we everything. Everything shows up in the bedroom. How we are in the boardroom shows up in the bedroom. And so you can't lie in sex. And I think that's why people tend to want to have the casual sex, or the not looking into the eyes sex, not opening the heart sex, because it's safer. But then that's why your sex will suck, because you're not really showing up. Or everything will suck more in your life because you're not really showing up fully present, fully embodied. And so our power is in the present moment and how available we are to ourselves and to this moment. And so we get to practice embodiment. We get to practice showing up 100% so that we can be rock stars in business in the bedroom. And you see how sexual energy, our ability to be authentic and freely expressed, you can practice all that through sexual practices, through connecting to your sexuality. But it's so underutilized. But I'm here to change that, you know?
Big facts. Big facts. So when we meet with the guys, what are some of your most important common insights for them and for them to share with their partners?
Well, the most beautiful gift that I feel we're going to experience in this circle is men are going to witness a woman who's really comfortable in her sexuality. And I think that's far and few in the population, especially South Florida. I think that is medicine in and of itself, is that the presence of a goddess, a queen. And I'm saying that from a soulful, heart-connected place. And the other aspect of it is men are going to feel so loved by me and you and Jeff and everyone else that is co-leading that night. We're going to create this sacred container where men can explore all their uncomfortable feelings about their sexuality. And so, for example, I see a man's first sexual experience, or lots of men have gotten caught their mom or somebody shame them masturbating. I want all these men to know, come and bring all your baggage, come and bring all your uncomfortableness. And then there's men that have fantasies or things that they want to do that they would never tell anyone. So we're going to create this really yummy, comfortable space where we can come together and open up together and face some things that maybe we don't want to face, or at least witness the uncomfortableness that comes up and learn how to process it. And then giving you permission to really step into your owning and reclaiming that sexual power of yours, men, because to give you permission to let yourself feel that sexual energy. So we're going to do some practices to free ourselves to opening up even more to that power. And I'm not talking about power where you're performing or it's techniques, but power of your presence and knowing a little bit more about your sexual anatomy. So I would love to share more about the prostate. Why is that such an important part that I talk to everyone about? You know, it's analogous to the G-spot in women. And a lot of men, I feel there's a lot of ignorance about this part of the body, but that is the secret juicy sauce, you know, the area. So if men have questions also that want to ask me that you would never want to ask, you know, like your partner, come to me, ask me, message me, and we were going to have also some time to share and the other awesome facilitations that you guys are going to do, you and Jeff. So it's going to be an amazing night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been such an incredible experience being part of it, and there's so many parts of myself that feel, you know, totally unqualified to be like a leader in this thing. And there's certain programs and limiting beliefs and blah blah blah. And I always try to come from a place like, look, I'm on this journey, Jeff's on this journey. We're all here, you know, finding that strength and finding that peace within ourselves, and creating a space where guys can come in, tell the freaking truth, and grow and heal. Right. And, you know, from Dr. Glover's work, the author of No More Mr. Nice Guy, you know, he says the number one most important thing for men to do, and I'm sure this is for women as well, but I'm interested in your opinion there, is to come together in groups and talk about why they're ashamed of themselves. And for whatever reason, that honesty and that's just like, yeah, this is me. This is it. And I'm no longer just keeping this all trapped inside here. I'm willing to share it to the world, or at least in a small group.
That's sexy. That's hot. That's because you're flowing the energy as you're speaking vulnerably and you're really being honest. Honesty is sexy. And we're meant to be honest. We're not meant to be liars. We're designed to be lovers. We're designed to be love. We're designed to be abundant. And so when we express all that we've hidden, we're tapping into the energy of abundance. That's why people get raises. When they start to clear their shame, you start to feel more valuable because more of the authentic you is inhabiting you. That's what I love about you, Jackson. You're so open. You, from the first day I met you, you know, at Miami Made, you're so eager. You're so open. And so I don't care how many years of leadership you have, you're freaking open. And that you don't get in a lot of people that are leaders or coaches. They're trying to put on this persona, and that is not, to me, like, I'm constantly learning. I'm going this weekend to see Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden tomorrow. I am never stopped learning. I'm constantly learning, and I'm open to learning. And I think that's a beautiful thing that you have, that I see in myself too. And that's what I feel. Those are the kind of people that I want to work with, you know? That know that the more I learn, the less I realize I know, you know, and it's fun because I don't need to know so much. Like let me just take it moment by moment and then let Creator guide me. That's more fun. It's much more fun that way.
Yeah. I think that honesty allows for the divine and for higher guidance, our higher self, however you choose to describe it, to come through us and to fill up that space. But if we act like, oh, I'm this special person and I've got the guru mountain syndrome, which I just like, that worked, you know, back in the day. But I'm just so over it, you know? So we should all for me, there's a cool balance between like owning ourselves, being confident, you know, owning the fact that we've gathered wisdom or have some innate intelligence, but then also respecting the fact that the way I felt a year ago is much different than the way I feel now. So, you know, I recognizing that the opinion that I have, like this soapbox on now, is very likely to change over time, right? So that
Yeah.
humility of growth and everything is huge. And like you're saying, when we tap into that, then a much greater awareness can
The
flow through
miracles
us.
happen. The
Yeah.
miracles happen, the magic. And for me, I was in my way most of my life. I know what it's like to feel ashamed. I know what it's
Same.
like to persecute
Same.
myself. I
Yeah.
literally punished myself. I
Yeah.
wasn't loyal to someone in the past, not to give out too much, I don't want to reveal everything, but I literally persecuted. I feel I was Jesus hanging on the cross. I
Mm.
saw that every day in Sunday church, and I literally acted out like I got to punish myself. You were
Yeah.
bad, Michelle. I
Yeah.
did this to myself. So I know what it's like to live in a program and then to do a shamanic apprenticeship, to do mindset reprogramming, and to realize, oh my God, who was that person? That's not
Yeah.
really me. And so I feel like I had cancer. I feel like I had a disease that I
Yeah.
no longer have it. So I can't not share. So
Yeah.
people are like, oh my God, Michelle, here she goes again. But I'm so excited. It's like, I'm so excited just here, like I'm onto something here and I know it works really well and I'm living
Yeah.
proof of it. And thank you for inviting me to share my passion and my mission. And I'm so excited to share that, with all the men. I love men. I used to be afraid of men. I didn't have any male friends. And so for me to have all these beautiful, conscious men in my life, I want women to believe that there are great men out there. I want women to heal that. There's so much suffering from women. And so, like, I can't wait to bring the ladies to the kings, and keep collaborating with you, Jackson and Jeff. And thank you for having me. And I'd love to know what people have been commenting. I don't know if you can take a look at that because I saw some maybe questions or.
Yeah. Yeah, it's mainly just a lot of great comments, and thanks to everybody. But if you do have questions about shame or how shame has shown up in your life and how you'd like to shift it, or how we can be of service to you in this conversation, please drop it in the comments and let us know what's most important to you in this conversation, because that is our intention, is giving you the most powerful information that we possibly can.
And this
So,
is just the beginning, everybody. Please
mm,
message Jackson, get in touch with him, The Pursuit of Kings, Wednesday, June 1st at 7. We're going to start sharply, but be there at 6:30, gentlemen. If you want to
that's 5 o'clock
spend some
Miami time,
time.
everybody.
What?
So that's 5 o'clock Miami time, everyone.
Yeah, like I would love people to come early. I want to talk with the men before we start. And ladies, please share this video with every man you know in South Florida. This is, to me, one of the most powerful things we can do is inspire men to gather together and to talk about sexuality. Of course, doing this with women and men. And for the men's circle, just ladies, please tell every man you know about the men's circle. Trust me, Jackson and Jeff are it. They are the bomb. You guys are amazing. And I mean, I can't wait to be there June 1st, Wednesday. What time is it? Like, is it that day yet? I'm so excited. And thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Yeah, of course. It's gonna be amazing. We do have two awesome questions here. The first one is, how can we as men be better understanding of women's pain? Ooh.
Understand your own pain. That's it.
Ooh.
Choose to feel yourself more. Touch your heart, touch your waist, touch your abdomen. Are you constipated? Do you have irritable bowel syndrome? Know yourself. There's so many people walking around tensed up, constipated, disconnected. So don't even worry about thinking of anybody else, because you will feel so much more when you start massaging your abdomen, massage your prostate. Reach out to me. I'll teach you how. Touch yourself. Give yourself a hug. If you don't have that, hug a pillow. If you're against hugging yourself, hug a pillow and imagine that that's yourself.
Mm.
Make it all about yourself. And I'm not being selfish here, but that I literally see from all the work that I've done with myself, I only want to love people. I don't want to judge people. I don't want to be inconsiderate like I used to be, because I was inconsiderate to myself. I would judge myself. And so if you want to feel the pain of others, start asking yourself, where am I holding pain? What's my pain? What am I avoiding? And then you'll be able to listen to that person much more.
I love that. Bevy, I'll come to your question next. I want to get to one before you there. So Jesse says, would love to hear more about your journey or thoughts on healing connections to the masculine after betrayals and loss of trust with some.
Well, when you have a betrayal, it's a gift. It's an opportunity for you to strengthen being loyal to yourself, showing up consistently with yourself. We don't get what we want, we get what we are. So it's time for us to stop pointing the finger. Whatever you're attracting is because it's a gift. You get to polish up your soul. You get to polish up your life. Be grateful that you were cheated on. Be grateful that you cheated. Be grateful that you were lied to. Imagine just loving everything and saying, thank you, Creator. Okay, where am I out of alignment with myself? Make it about yourself. I can't stress this enough because it's so missed. People spending hours bashing their husband that they cheated on him to somebody and somebody and somebody. Well, you know what? Do you love your job? Do you love your husband? Are you loyal to yourself? Or are you putting everybody else in front of you? It really is an inside job. That's why we do the deeper work in the work that I do. And that person didn't mean to cheat on you. They're cheating on themselves. Trust me, when people are lying and not being loyal and betraying, it's because they're betraying themselves. That's why they're betraying you. And so the more we realize this, imagine having a relationship like that where you can just really see the truth. That's what I'm gonna have one day, you know, where we just like, oh, okay, you're wanting that. Okay, well, what's coming up for you? I love you. Like, okay, this is great. I'm so happy that this is happening because it's happening for us. And so imagine having a relationship where it's about growth. It's about loving stronger. You know, I say this, love strong. Love the things that are murky and icky and look at them as opportunities. And then you're always going to be growing in your life. And have compassion because trust me, nobody wants to hurt anybody. That person is in pain. Just like this shooting that just happened, you know, everybody's judging, but that 18-year-old, what was his childlike like? Where are his parents? What led this person to act out and hurt people? Wow, they must be really hurting inside to want to go and kill people. And so if we could actually start to heal and look at the root problems, we wouldn't even have prisons. You know, like the whole thing about the way that we've built things, we should seek out to find out the root problems of those criminals because nobody's really here to hurt people. Everybody was a baby at one point. And then we learned how to disconnect. We are born loving. There's no baby that comes out of the womb like this. I've never seen that. They're always like, you know, they're just love. And so I have a lot of compassion because I have compassion for myself today, you know?
Awesome. Any books you recommend for women to be able to open and present to make their men, spouses feel more empowered and like kings? Let me jump on that one real quick, but I'm sure you have some awesome ones. The first thing I would love to say on that is it can be so simple. It can and I'm telling you, ladies, know how powerful you are in this regard. The masculine wants, for the vast majority of men, the masculine wants to be amazing for you. It wants to create a castle for you. It wants to create a life and a home and provide and protect. Like that's what the masculine really wants to do. But oftentimes princes can get turned into frogs in difficult relationships. And I've definitely been there. So one of the best books on that subject is by a woman named Alison Armstrong. I've read a few of her books. She is outstanding. Alison Armstrong, the first one that comes to mind is The Amazing Development of Men. And she goes through men's stages from, she says, like the page to the knight to the prince to the king. And there's like sub stages within each one. And the way she explains male psychology and elicits understanding and compassion from the female perspective about where's that guy really at? Why isn't he committing? Why isn't he doing this? You know, there's a lot of judgment, which is understandable. You can be angry or disappointed by the way a guy's showing up, but seeing where he's really at is really amazing. And one of her favorite analogies, and I'll turn it back to you, Michelle, is that men are not hairy women misbehaving. A lot of women think that men are hairy women that are misbehaving, and that's not true. So we are different. We have differences, and I love her work. So Michelle, love to know your thoughts there.
Well, I
Oh,
mean,
wait, sorry.
right.
I'm really sorry. Sorry, I hate to interrupt. But I want to say the one quick thing is just recognizing the guy and saying thank you. Your sacrifice, your struggle, your desire to take on pain or do difficult things or wake up early in the morning or work things that are difficult, that changes my life. Thank you so much. Keep going. I need you. I love you. I respect you. Like when a man feels that from a woman, it is fucking rocket fuel. Okay, so if you want your guy to be excited and happy and bonded to you and romantic and want to make love to you and spend hours and just spend time with you, show him that you think he's a badass. And if he's not showing up as a badass, then that's a more complicated conversation. But just thanking him and saying, hey, I see you. Thank you for your sacrifice. Keep going. We need you. Rocket fuel.
Yeah, appreciation and
Yeah,
gratitude is such
totally.
an important aspect of self relationship so that you can then project that onto your partner. That's how that happens. If your
Yeah.
partner's not appreciating you, appreciate yourself more to bring in that frequency of appreciation. And so what I would recommend people is to go to my website, michellealva.com, and I wrote Yoni, I hope that says Yoni Power and Orgasmic Abundance
Nailed
Online
it.
Journey. That's a program that I've created. It's on my website. And I can actually, if people want to get 50% off, if you're watching this video, private message me and I'll send you a little discount code. That's what I would recommend. If any woman wants to embody more her feminine, connect more to the masculine feminine within herself, heal her traumas, get juicy, get connected, I recommend that. And it's beyond a book, because you could read tons of books, but that doesn't mean you're going to embody what the book is telling you. And let me know if you want to sign up to get my book, because I'm in the middle of writing a book right now. And that's what I would recommend. I have to say, there's no one book that I've read, and that's why I'm writing a book. I do love Alison Armstrong ever since you mentioned her on one of your interviews, Jackson. I've been listening to her podcast, and I second that.
Cool.
So as far as information, I really love where she's coming from.
Cool. You two
And
have such
there's
a
a lot of,
similar vibe, that like playful, like quirky, kind of
and
mischievous, but it's
healthy.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah, it's
healthy.
great.
Yes, because there's a lot of people teaching these topics, but I don't feel they're embodying. And
Mm,
that's where I realize that this is a gift, what we're offering here today. And
yeah.
that's another aspect of you too, Jackson. You're definitely embodied also.
Mm.
So,
Well, thank you for that. That's a
yeah.
wonderful compliment.
Well, it's the truth. It's not a compliment, it's the truth. Any other questions?
Yeah, everybody fire away. Like, what do you want to change? What do you want to improve? What hurts? What do you want more of? This is some huge topics in here as far as our interpersonal relationships with ourselves and our partners and our sexual identity, all that amazing stuff. And
Yeah, if people want to
yeah,
learn more too, I just want to mention Jackson and I are creating a couples tantra experience that's coming up June 10th. It's going to be in a private location, private home. So if you guys want more of this type of synergy, dynamic, passion, vibrancy, reach out to us. And I know you have an amazing coaching program also, Jackson. I urge women to also work with Jackson. I've worked with Jackson, and I've had, you've helped me in a lot of ways. And trust me, I've met lots of people, and I really appreciate the work that you're doing, not just with men, also with women. And I know you've been very healing for me. So I just want to share that and acknowledge. I really appreciate the work that you are always constantly wanting to improve and grow, and that's really priceless for me. So I look forward to more collaborations. And with Jeff Parker Love, I don't know if people already follow him, but follow Jeff Parker Love. We have the same last name. And just the pursuit of kings. I'm excited for your retreat coming up in the fall, and just to keep this this aliveness going, because I feel it's so powerful for the world, for us all to have more compassion for ourselves, folks. We haven't done it the best we have been able to. So many people are holding shame and they don't know how to liberate themselves. And so many people are having terrible sex. And it's time to change that. And that's why we're here.
yeah, totally. And like you said, how we sex is how we everything. I mean, that is the core. It's the core of our life in so many ways. And if we leave that out, if we get stuck in this like shame pattern of old religious thinking, and I love Jesus, I love God, but religion is a fucking disaster and I hate it, or I'm loving it out of existence in more NLP friendly language. Michelle, you might need to help me with that one.
Well, I just want to
But
ask the priests, what's wrong with masturbation? Why does a priest not allowed to have sex? And then we wonder why there's pedophilia rampant in the
yeah,
church. I mean,
yeah,
can we not reflect on that, people? We
yeah,
shut down hundreds of churches in Boston. What are we doing to heal? Where are those priests? Where is the healing? That's what's missing. It's not good enough to just shut things down. It's not good enough. Where
yeah,
are those programs where we can start to heal and create different ways of operating so that these things are resolved? And so that's what I'm here to stand for.
yeah.
It's the healing and the feeling.
I love it. Larnell had a question: how balancing the masculine and feminine help in our love language in relationships?
Well, get to know both. I tend to not like to use the word balance when it comes to the feminine masculine. Get to know the depths of both. So understand the qualities and radiate and practice and have fun embodying all those qualities of both. And then you're going to intuitively be guided when it's time for us to pause and when it's time for us to take action and penetrate.
Love it. Speaking of penetration, the last question here from Jesse. I'm so curious to hear more about the why of women's orgasms, Smiley. It's starting to feel more genuinely important to me to ask for that before anything more penetrative. In other words, it feels like the body really, really desires that before much more. And of course, everyone's different, but so interesting. So Jesse, do you mean like, why are you having sex or why are you having an orgasm? Michelle, is that, I'm a little confused, but anybody go for it.
Why not have an orgasm? Like, I don't understand that question.
Yeah.
The question of why why am I talking so much about whole body orgasm? Is that it?
I'm not sure, but Jesse, keep typing and let us know exactly what you're looking for there.
And thank you for asking, Jesse.
Yeah, totally. What up, Gordon? Epic musician right there. Thanks for sharing your art with the world. Having an awesome conversation here regarding processing our shame, releasing our sexual power, our artistry, and speaking to a musician here. I think that artistic nature is something that shame really destroys. Then and what is sex if it's not an artistic act?
Shame is holding. So when you start to play a flute, the drum, sing, you start to move the shame. Music is so healing. Singing, playing an instrument, you're gonna process. It's gonna come up. It's so healing.
Yeah.
Shame is holding, hiding.
Yeah. Yeah. Stagnant.
And that's not what we are.
Right. So Jesse says, well, maybe I just want to confirm how important it feels to me. So how important orgasms are? Is that what you mean? I'm still confused.
Orgasm
I'm trying.
is medicine. Whole body orgasm with your heart open, expanded, energy flowing is medicine.
Yeah.
I wish if I had a hospital, people are post-op surgery and they had their open heart. You know how people have these surgeries with the heart. I feel every cardiologist, it would behoove them to learn the benefits of whole body orgasm. Bring me in there and guide everybody energetically to whole body orgasm. That's my kind of hospital.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I cannot wait for Michelle Alva General to be open. That's gonna be the best hospital anyone's ever seen.
And like orgasmic energy is so yummy. Your skin changes. Like I have definitely mastered what whole body orgasm is all about. And so in first time, like sometimes women are like, stop, that feels too good. Stop. If a man has ever had a woman where she's like, stop. And so what if the woman would say, oh yeah, expand me. Let's expand together. And just start to feel her richness, start to feel her magic. And and he might not even be doing anything and you're still going. That's what I'm talking about. That's the tantric, ecstatic, feminine, wide open, feeling everything. And the man, he might be like a foot away from her, but he's like, oh my God, because we're mostly made of energy. We're 99.99999%. And so that's what people don't understand, that when your heart that's so electrically charged is on, and you combine that with your sexual energy, and it's no longer about the physicality so much, it's more
Mm-hmm.
about that feeling, because you're so embodied.
Mm.
Everything is just more exciting. You walk
Mm-hmm.
outside and you feel this gushing wind under your skirt, and you're just like, whoa. And so everywhere you go, there's like pixie dust everywhere. And that's what I wish to share Wednesday. You guys, if you want some of this, come get it Wednesday at Plant the Future at the Men of the Circle. We're gonna really be flying. We're gonna be flying all over.
uh, can't wait. Been a freaking awesome conversation. Anyone that just joined, if you have questions about processing your shame or expanding your sexual power and expanding your enjoyment, your pleasure, your self-love, fire away with a couple more questions, and then we got to end this here pretty soon, or I guess we get to end this in more
Yes,
evolved
we get to
language.
have dessert now.
There we go. There we go. And there's Mr. Jeff Parker Love right there. He wants it. Let's go, everybody. So next Wednesday, any men in South Florida, I hope that you get there. Any women, I hope you invite your men. We are doing some epic stuff. Incredible facilitators like Michelle, gathering the best wisdom that we possibly can and bring it to you guys in as concise and as valuable a conversation as we can. Thank you so much, Darnell. Really
Have some
appreciate that.
authentic and real conversations in
Yeah,
Miami. They
yeah,
are happening every month.
yeah.
And I tell all my male clients to go to the men's circle. And even I have a client who went to your retreat and it changed their life. It's life changing. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm so
Mm.
excited. You and Jeff Parker Love, both so available, so loving. It's been so healing for me to be with you both, just in your presence, and to have you both in my life. I love you both so much, and I can't wait to spread the love on Wednesday at the Men's Circle, the Pursue the Kings Men's Circle.
Yeah, well, we love you too, Michelle. And speaking to that previous point about how powerful the feminine is at activating and restoring and replenishing men and being that fertile, restorative, green, growing force that the feminine is, that beautiful, radiant, amazing thing that it just inherently is. Bring it, share with the men in your life, and pour that into them, and it will be an incredible shift in them. And so freaking grateful to you, Michelle, for being such an epic embodiment of that and going through all the pain and the struggles and the growth and the discomfort you've been through to find this amazing place that you're in now, and being so eager just to share it with us and share it with the world. And can't wait to keep creating and sharing amazing things with you. It's been so freaking fun and so satisfying. And
Me too.
any parting thoughts you'd like to leave these good people with regarding
For
shame and power?
anybody that is suffering, or anybody that is hiding, or anybody that's being triggered, just from this conversation of how free and open we are, for people to know that you're in the perfect place right now on your journey. So most of my life, I lived disconnected. I didn't touch myself sexually till I was 37. I haven't really known this part of myself until the last 11 years of my life. And so for everybody to just do your best to love whatever and wherever you are. Hug a pillow right now, hug yourself, go look in the mirror and just tell yourself, I love you. It's okay. I love you. It's okay. And keep showing up as your best friend. Cultivate your own inner relationship. Let's stop complaining about other people. Let's stop pointing the finger at other people. It's so rampant in our world. When we watch the news, like, how can I cultivate this beautiful earth here? And that's what I've done. I made it my mission. Maybe a little too much. Like, people are like, Michelle, you're still single. And I mean, I don't love myself as much as you do. And I have a partner, so maybe I've overkilled on the self-love, but you know what? I'd rather do it because whoever I wind up with, they're going to have a vacation every single freaking day. They don't need to have my projections of crap on them because I haven't resolved that with myself. So everybody benefits from the deep inner work, but also love on yourself wherever you're at, because we're all doing the best we can wherever we're at. So I love you all wherever you're at. Bring all the men, gentlemen, if you're like, oh my God, I don't want to talk about shame, or bring all that with you, because that is medicine for us. And we're just going to love on you wherever you're at.
Love that. No judgment, full acceptance,
Yeah, only
and
love.
yeah, and at the same time, wherever you're at is great and awesome, and calling you to a higher standard, calling all of ourselves to a higher
Yeah.
standard. That's our goal. That's our mission. And if we follow that, we're going to go some really amazing places. So,
Yeah.
Michelle, mwah, you're
Mwah.
incredible. Love you. See you
Love you.
Wednesday, if not sooner. And thanks everyone for joining. Hope to see you again soon.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Wait, oh, got him. Okay. Thanks, Larnell. See you guys.
Bye, Larnell.